I give the call to the member for Fraser.
My question is to the Treasurer. What insights were contained in the OECD's latest outlook for global growth, and what does it mean for Australia? What are some of the economic challenges facing our country, and how is the government responding?
I give the call to the Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. With the member for Hughes' 3 attempts at that question, she's now asked more questions than the Shadow Treasurer has asked the Treasurer about the budget handed down a month ago
continue with his
in this
answer.
place. Mr Speaker, thank you for the call. To the member for Fraser, thank you for the question and for the economic firepower that you bring to this place. To Carol and her friends from the Sutherland Shire, thank you for the conversation last night and for being here in question time today to witness this pretty remarkable spectacle, frankly. Mr Speaker, overnight the OECD released an updated outlook for the economy, and it contains more confronting news when it comes to global conditions. And what they said in their report is that the global economy is facing mounting challenges. Growth has lost momentum, high inflation is proving persistent, confidence has weakened and uncertainty is high. And the OECD said that the global economy is reeling from the largest energy crisis since the 1970s, and that energy shock has pushed up inflation to levels not seen for many decades, and it's lowering economic growth all around the world. And so the report shows, Mr Speaker, that the global economy has been reeling because of the biggest energy crisis since the 70s, brought about by Russian aggression
on my left
in Ukraine.
and right.
And that high and persistent inflation which has led to blunt and brutal application of monetary policy by the world's central banks, and that's having an impact on the prospects for global growth as well. And we know on this side of the House, Mr Speaker, that the pressures on our economy are coming at us from around the world, but they are felt most acutely around the kitchen table. And so Australians are paying a heavy price for Russian aggression, but they're also paying a heavy price for a wasted decade of missed opportunities and warped priorities and coalition incompetence when it comes to the economy. The types of incompetence that have left this country with an aged care crisis and skills shortages and an energy crisis and not enough to show for $1 trillion in debt, and wages which have been too stagnant in this country for far too long. And that's why the budget was all about making our budget more responsible and our economy more resilient to these international shocks. It's all about dealing with the aged care crisis and dealing with the skills shortage and making the budget more sustainable, investing in skills and childcare and all the other drivers of economic growth and participation in our economy. This side of the House, Mr Speaker, is absolutely determined to get wages moving again in our economy. One of the defining failures of those opposites period in office was the fact that ordinary working people were going backwards when government changed hands. And so we will make our budget more responsible, we will make our economy more resilient, and perhaps most importantly of all, Mr Speaker, the difference between this side of the House and that side of the House is we want to get decent wages and living standards for ordinary working people. They seek to diminish them at every opportunity.